Right, who am I going to start with? Let's start with you, because you've smashed some massive balls now. What's the key? What's the mentality you have when you're standing in your stance to make sure you can hit those powerful shots?
I think ever since growing up, I've always had the ability to play the slog. I think that's actually one of the big things I've always had. Is I haven't quite had the best technique growing up. I've always had to be able to sort of hack it across the line. So, but as you obviously grow up and get further into the game, you've got to make sure that you can use that ability in the right way. So basically my biggest thing nowadays is making sure that I've got a strong base, and if I'm balanced, I have the ability to use my back hip that gives me a lot of power. So it's something that I've been working a lot on over the last couple of years, and something I had a session 6 weeks ago with Collie and Trez who actually sort of seen something in me that helped me quite a bit. So I used to lose a lot of my power with too wide a base. So I've just tried to narrow my base a little bit, and we did loads of sessions going up to the self-isolation period, and then as soon as I came back out of it, it worked perfectly. So that's probably my biggest thing is my base.
Right, I'm going to ask you about that in a second, but let's go to you. Coming in, what was it for you?
For me, I've got so I'm tall, long levers. I got a pretty good swing of the bat, a pretty good flow of the bat, and then it was all up to timing. But there's nothing you can't do it without practice, and it's all about getting the repetition in the middle. These guys do it. We used to do it. I mean, we started it really. It was range hitting, and it was something that you practice.
Coming in, Liam, I want you to stand in the crease. You said about a base, so coming in, just explain what you mean by that.
It's different spin to seam, but to seam is something I've worked really hard on, is being able to get back into a position that I'm balanced, and then making sure that I'm not losing this front foot too much, which loses this hip, and all of a sudden you lose your power from your back hip. Making sure that at contact I can be able to whip this through, which is where all my power comes from.
Right, I want to see you hit a couple now. Right, coming in, Crummy, we need good throws from you. It's not as easy as it looks. Let's see how far you can hit it as the rain starts hammering down it. Oh, not bad. He's into an absolute gale as well, which doesn't help. But
Take it.
Still gone a
It's
long
probably,
way.
to spin, it's much easier using my feet.
Yeah.
I feel like I get my momentum through the crease.
It's your body, it's your weight through the ball.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing for me, is using my feet against, and to be fair, against seam. I think some of the biggest sixes actually come from people walking down the wicket.
If you've got mid-off up and if you've got long on in position, do you try and cover mid-off, or do you back yourself to just hit it as far as you can, as long as it goes for six?
I think it depends. The size of that boundary will make a difference. If it's an off spinner and the boundaries aren't huge, I'll take on long on. I would have the confidence to be able to hit it over him. And I think we talk about being able to hit big six. It's an entertainment thing. It's great fun, but it's also a great thing to have, because you can back yourself to clear an 80-meter boundary with a long on. Rather than being able to clear a 30-yard circle for a one-bounce four. Having that skill to be able to do that is actually a pretty good thing to have.
Come on, I want to see you do it.
No, I was actually sort of easing into your role there so that I didn't have to hit any.
Right, come on.
See what I was doing there?
We saw him hit one, halfway up that bank. Are you any different? All the things that he said, you any different or not?
No, not at all. I mean, pretty similar to exactly the stuff that he did. I mean, we were doing it 10, 12 years ago, where it was, again, range hitting practice, and the key fundamental is modern day batsmen are not scared to take on the boundary riders. Like long on, actually, long on's not a fielding position anymore. And I remember I got into trouble a couple of times in the Ashes, where I went down to lie and I tonked him out of the whacker, and went again, and it went up, and I was like, that's six. And the Fremantle doctor, the wind hit it, and I got caught at long on. Let me tell you, I got an absolute barrage.
You should have just stayed there facing off Mitchell Johnson and
Exactly
not tried to
right.
play any shots.
Exactly. That's what they wanted.
Come on then, let's throw some then.
Yeah, what?
Oh, not bad. Did you get to that one? So did you get to the pitch?
You know what's
that one?
amazing? And I remember Mark Waugh used to say it. Sometimes you hit the ball the furthest when you don't get to it. And it's very, very, very strange.
That's so true. There's the time that you hit the biggest sixes, especially off spin, is where your last thought is, I'm not there.
Yeah.
I've been done. And you swing your hands through, and if you connect with it, they go so much further than any others.
We did this with Fred and Joss Butler. And both of them had a very different way of doing it, whereas Fred was like that old school check drive, And then Joss was talking about that bottom hand coming through.
That's interesting. Like just been watching Liam now, and he's got incredible wrists.
Yeah.
So his power is coming from his wrists, not from his weight, not from his body. His power is all coming from his wrists. He's got such a quick swing through the ball, and that's what Joss has.
Yeah.
So like I've just watched a couple of balls there. Actually, the first one he hit, I was like, Jesus, those hands are real quick through the ball.
So where does that come from?
I have no idea. Do you know, as funny as it sounds, I've actually spent a lot of time watching Joss.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I actually got a bit too much whippy with my hands. And when I was sort of like coming through trying to make it into being a decent white ball player. And I got too much like overexcited with my hands. And I guess maybe that sort of experiment has actually come into my game and gone back to trying to hit properly. And the speed of my hands has probably improved by trying to go too far that way.
Right.
So I think Joss has got a ridiculous ability of being able to hit that way, which I don't quite have, is he can whip through and hit the offside. So I guess it's just different for different people. Different, like me and Kev are probably going to have different swings. He's taller, a lot longer levers, but it still doesn't mean that we can't both hit sixes.
Well, what we're going to have, we've got to have a contest between the old and the new, and let's see who wins out. So I'm going to give you 5 balls each,
Yeah.
and we'll see who hits the furthest one. All right? Who wants to go first? You want to go first, Kev, or you
Well,
want?
I'm here.
KP's going to go first. You get 5 balls each, and we'll see who hits it the furthest. And what we'll say is, you've got a V, so you can go from straight to sort of wide long on, rather than just chipping it into the downwind to the leg side. Coming in.
That's you
That
see,
looked better. Actually, did you try and go straighter with that one?
You've given us a very straight V, Bob.
Very straight.
I would have gone that. I would have hit that comfortably over there, over wide mid wicket.
All right, keep doing it.
But
Go
you've,
wherever you want.
Okay.
Oh, now that sounded good. That's gone high, so the wind's going to catch it.
Yeah.
But that come out the middle?
I got that one. Yeah. I don't think I'm going to get to the bank.
Yeah, boy.
Oh, you've gone with that. What about that one? You happy with that one?
I'm happy with the result. I'm not really happy with
What's that,
how,
one
how
left?
far it's gone. Last one.
Oh, not bad. So that you're just dragging.
Throwing is dreadful.
I'll tell you what. Throw.
100%.
Oh, straight away, the throw was better.
Much better throw.
Oh, that's got up the bank.
That's a monster.
Happy with that one?
Yeah.
All right, that's 1 out of 1. I think he's ahead already. Oh, what about that one?
didn't get
Sounded
that.
not quite in the middle. Still over the side
Still
screen.
over the side screen.
Enough.
Wow. These throws are good as well.
Oh, no, much better.
Hey, look at these throws.
Oh, bomb, right. How many's that? You got one more.
It's a broken bat, that's what it is.
Is that the one you hit that one at Headingley the other day? Imagine if you broke your bat doing this.
What did you say? Last one?
Last one. I think you've hit the longest by a mile, but you're the least consistent.
Yeah, your consistency needs to be worked on, my friend.
Again, what was that? Bottom of the bat, you can hear the sound. Has that gone up to the bank? Not
No.
quite.
Is that like a proper bat?
It was until it broke.
Right, just give one tip just to finish up on. Come on, one thing. Bottom hand speed, that for you?
I think it's just your natural swing. Go with it.
Go
As
with
long
it.
as you can, go with it.
What about you?
Practice it and then just let loose. I didn't get to a couple of those. I let loose knowing I can still hit them for 6.
I'll tell you what, they've hit some big balls there because it is blowing a gale, but it's all about just committing 100%.